see if I can get a thumbnail going. It's a thumbnail. Whoa. Let me see something. All right, what did I want to say? I wanted to say a couple things. I want to try to get more sleep, but I also want to understand. What is it, a spider on top of my thing? Yeah, my attention, sure. Yeah, so I just wrote in my notebook. Didn't write much, but I obviously talked about the stillness, being in the stillness, being in the traffic of your mind. When you feel down, just know that it's because you're in your body and you're in your mind. And when you feel elevated, just know that there's less hold on the body and the mind. There's more. That's what it is. Like, there's less limit. Like you're identifying less with a limited identification. What I have to say. I wanted to say a couple things. Hold on, give me a second. All right. So one thing I wanted to say is that as you go up in vibration, as you go up in your vibration, you go along your journey, and you start to become, consistently happy, consistently joyful. Majority of the day, right? You're just happy majority of the day, and there's not really a time where you're sad. Just probably when you're winding down, you know. Look at my tongue and shit. Yeah, just probably when you're winding down. Let's say hypothetically you're just happy all the time. The ego, I don't want to call it ego because then it's something that's separate from yourself. It's just a part of you, your mind, the tool that you use, not you, but the mind, will try to identify with anything that it gets the chance to. Which is just the nature of the mind. That's what it does. It analyzes, it accepts, it identifies itself with. Like, it just does that. That's what it does. That's the only way to be anything in the world and operate, is to essentially have an identification. Now, you can separate yourself from the identification and allow it to run its course. That's what an enlightened being is. But yeah, so if you get what my mind is doing, it's not like what my mind is doing. It's just what the mind does. Is if you get to a certain point in vibration, then it begins to take credit and try to, oh, look at me, Like, I was watching a Dr. David Hawkins video, and he says, along the traps that you encounter in each stage of vibration, and he says when you go higher up and you start entering into the love vibration, people will begin to be gravitated towards you. And I'm like, my mind was getting excited, like, ooh, gravitated towards me. Who cares, bro? The purpose of it is to grow within yourself and to grow consciously. But yeah, he says what you can get is you can get a lot of love from people, and you can get a lot of fame and a lot of popularity. And just the nature of the identity is they can start being attracted to this stuff and start getting involved in this stuff. Even if you're feeling good, like if you're feeling happy, you got to just notice that when your ego says, yes, look at me, you can notice. I mean, if you're going up, you can notice it. But sometimes, because people probably, if you're coming from a place where you have never experienced things like that before, and your vibration just goes higher and higher, and so it creates a brand new life very quickly, shockingly, like you've never experienced it. And people are coming up to you and they're being positive and they're being all this and that. You can get really identified with that. You can be like, oh wow, I'm such a cool person. You could. I can see how it's possible. You can get new opportunities, you can get money, life could just open up, and you can just start being so attached to these things. It's very possible if you have never done it before. But the nature of the human being is it will never let you rest. You'll understand that there's no long fulfillment or long-term peace in those things. They're cool, but they're not gonna make you bliss. blissed out. They're not gonna give you the realization that you want. So it's all about, because in the beginning days, you're just you yourself. This is for the Western person. In the beginning of the days, you're just you yourself, just wishing to, not wishing, but just on the path to more freedom. You go up the states, you become more positive, more happy, more compassionate person. Now you start getting opportunities. People start looking at you different, and you just keep going up and up and up, and you're getting even more blissed out. Think of it, bro. If you could be like so happy throughout the day, like just happy throughout the day, no matter what, and it becomes your dominant mood, your dominant sensation, you're just happy all the time. Yeah, people are gonna notice this thing because that's the nature of reality. Like, we fill up what things in nature get filled up when something else is full. So like a guru, an enlightened being, people gravitate towards that guy because he's full, like he's full of energy, or girl, they're full of energy, so you gravitate towards them. And essentially, since you're not full, you taking from their fullness, and their fullness never runs out. But that's why in relationships, shit doesn't really work, because both of them are not full, but they're trying to take from each other's cup, energetically wise. So that's why them shits not work, because energetically they're just extracting from one another. Or friendships, for example, sometimes friendships you need a bit of a break, because you're taking from the person's cup, trying to get some fullness out of yourself. That's why when people will get bored or lonely, they want to go to a friend, because their cup is low, so they need somebody with a higher, like, life of cup, whatever the fuck, so they could be happier. That's essentially what happens. And sometimes it's not a bad thing, because if they're both low and they both come together, it can lift their spirits up, because they're combining energies, right? Like, at the end of the day, you can lift your energy up by yourself. You can also lift it up with people. So that's why they do that. But that's why most relationships are. It's extraction of a medium of exchange. Somebody might make you laugh a lot. Somebody might be good vibes. You're using their energy. And yeah, that's essentially what that is. So you see an enlightened being, if he's full, you're gonna naturally go over to him. So that's the nature of it. Nobody goes to a person who is not high vibing for expertise, or for to look at or to take from. But whoever is higher vibing, right? If you're below them, you're gonna go to them. If you're above them, you're not gonna really need to go to them. Even for the enlightened being, he doesn't go to someone who is so low to him, right? They come to him, and he does what he does because he's full. Let me pause real quick. But all that stuff that I'm saying is not really necessary. And the main thing in life is to get to the stillness, to get to the center of your being, to get to the pure consciousness. But just understand, along the way, the material life will not let you go so easily, right? Not material life, but the three-dimensional world will not let you ascend so easily. It will give you a lot of things, a lot of opportunities. It will. Within it will give you, it knows you, and you might entertain those things, and that's okay. Like, you might entertain those things because, look, let's say you're an individual who's never had money, who's never had fame, who's never had opportunities, and you start elevating, and you start breaking down these limitations of yours, and the only thing left at that moment is your desire for money, your desire for fame, your desire for opportunities. And you crack those barriers, and then now they come. Opportunity is money, fame, it all comes in your experience. You just are vibrating a freedom from it. So then now it comes, right? Now it wants to come just to fill up. And you might entertain those things. Like, you might take a money opportunity, which is okay. You might take a fame opportunity, which is okay. You might take whatever opportunity, which is okay. But to become identified with it again is the, or not necessarily identified with it, but it's basically the trap is keeping you in that identification. Identification, yeah. If you want to ascend higher, then you look at it for what it is. You can accept the opportunity, then you just go higher. This is what happens. This is as you go up in the vibrational scale. Remember, I'm talking about in the states of love, joy, and peace, right? I'm not talking about the low states where a lot of physical action. I'm talking about where this guy, you look at a person and what the fuck is up with that guy? Because that guy is like blissed out, joyful, peaceful, show the presence in him or her is so gravitating. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And then you begin to do also in that vibration. Everything you do is accordance to that vibration. So it's like everything you do is out of love. Everything you do is out of joy. Everything you do is out of peace. Right? If you're in that vibration. But that's basically what I want to say. Do what you need to do. The stillness. Get your body still. Get your mind concentrated. Concentration is a big part of it. Relaxation is a big part of it. Concentration plus relaxation equals realization. That's fact. That's the biggest thing. And then just the traps along the way as you go up. Right now, most of the traps though is just inside, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. Just do what just be aware. That's what Dr. David Hawkins said. Just be aware of these things that happen. So yeah, enjoy this. Anyways, that's the end of this clip.